Welcome to the NBA Rundown. Apologies for running late. Your host, Brett Astaire, on Australian time as of late, Tyler. Even if I try and go to bed early, man, I just got too much involved. Because I say, hey, I can watch in the morning, right, on demand. I mean, it's not, and I'm not going to get spoiled while I'm sleeping. I still have not been able to do it. So thank you for bearing with us. We are here. We will be bringing in AP at some point, too. So we'll wait for his arrival. But we wanted to get started because we have a pretty big NBA slate. Tyler, how are you feeling about tonight's games?
I'm good. I'm still hurting from that heartbreaker on the Wednesday show spread. We missed that parlay by a Duncan Robinson 3 away from a 66-1.
Oh, my, I know. But, you know, when you're taking chances like that, that's kind of going to happen, right? Because it is 66-1. So let's jump in tonight and see if we can find some more magic. You know, a team that's helped us, right, with some of these crazy money lines. The Oklahoma City Thunder +9 in Charlotte, taking on the Hornets, total 224. Tyler, what were your thoughts on this one? I didn't see a lot on the injury report, which is nice because these are cleaning up. Derek Favors, questionable. Rick Williams is in, and PJ Washington, questionable. Hey, that's pretty clean compared to what we are used to. What are your thoughts on the Thunder and the Hornets?
Yeah, I mean, looking at this game, I don't want to take OKC as a dog here because just how good Charlotte's been playing. Now, you could see Rozier Ball have some problems with Lou Dort on them. But whichever guy he goes to, the other guy's just going to run the offense. So they're just going to try and go away from him like you would do in the NFL with a good corner. So I kind of like the Charlotte side, but I think 9.5 is a bit too much. So I'm going to stay away from that. And the total, I think Charlotte could push the game up over, but my worry is OKC isn't going to give you much. Mm-hmm. So this game altogether, I'm pretty much going to stay away from as a side and totals point. But when you look at the props, I was looking at maybe a Josh Giddey points, rebounds, and assists at 27.5. He gets you double-digit points. He gets you about 5 to 6 rebounds and 5 to 6 assists. You could be looking really good with that number.
What was that one more time?
27.5 on Josh Giddey's points, rebounds, and assists.
So I know he gets points. I know he gets assists. How many rebounds does he usually get?
You're usually grabbing about like 5. And in
really?
this matchup, wow. Charlotte's not going to put any big guy under the rim. It's just going to eat him up.
Yeah, that's an interesting situation there with Charlotte, right? You think they'll be active at the trade deadline? Trying to acquire a big, because I mean it's pretty much a constant theme for us. We're always attacking rebounds. We're always attacking big men going against the Hornets.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have to make a move and get a big man. Mm-hmm. I'm just not sure where they go with that. Like, how much are they willing to give up to get like a Sabonis or a Turner?
We got one they might be interested in. I think Rashawn Holmes fits really well there.
Yeah. What do you think Sacramento would want to give up for him? The first round pick?
Yeah, we'd want to pick. I would hope. Please. I'm like, we need picks. We need picks. We don't need veteran players. There's no playoff run coming, guys. But, it'll be interesting to see who's on the block and if they can acquire one. I was going to try and talk on this one a little more. I was hoping AP would get here. We might have to double back, but I hope you guys bear with us as we try and bring you more NBA winners. If I forgot at the beginning, this show is brought to you by
we can take a look through the player performance doubles real quick.
Let's do that. And then I think we're going to get AP real soon.
Yeah, because, I mean, looking at it, we both think Charlotte probably wins this game. I don't think this is one of them spots where OKC upsets them. I mean, we could get Miles Bridges 25-plus points, and Charlotte wins plus 320.
Wow.
You could do.
He's kind of banger bust, though, right? I noticed from DFS, he has nights where he'll go over 30, and then nights when he gets 12.
Yeah, but see, he's either going to crush that number or he's just going to come nowhere near it. So
you're going to know it's dead like in the third quarter.
Yep. Yeah. We could do Kelly Oubre over 15 points and Charlotte wins. And that's plus 130.
Isn't he the same deal?
Yeah, he's the same deal.
Two inconsistent forwards. I wonder, so I haven't watched as much Charlotte as I would have, especially specifically for the players. Do you think that's because of the way that the opposing teams are approaching them?
No, I don't think so. Okay. I just think it's just the way he plays. He's either, if he's hot, he looks like one of the best players in the NBA. If he's cold, he looks like one of the worst.
A lot of players under 24 fit that description. AP, are you with us? I see you wearing the Chiefs. Getting ready for this weekend, huh?
Yeah, I think so. You guys can hear me, right?
Yep, we are good to go.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my system, but yeah, we made it. Big weekend. I just saw a notification. Clyde Edwards-Helaire off the injury report. It's going to be interesting between him and McKinnon. McKinnon has looked really good over the last 2 games, so it's going to be interesting to see how how they kind of split the workload. But I'm pumped for this weekend of football. It's going to be a lot of good games.
Yeah, and I know, AP, that when Tyler and I are recording our NFL show, you're going to be busy as it's getting to be really close to lock for tonight for the NBA this evening. But hopefully you'll have time to catch it. We got lots of stuff jam-packed for you. We were talking about that real quick before we went on. And so hopefully you'll have time to catch the NFL show that we will be doing on this channel. So subscribe to the channel. But, hey, you guys will probably be hanging out with AP and these guys getting ready for the slate, but this information is going to be good till 3 Eastern tomorrow, so we hope that you can check it out then. AP, we talked a lot about it, right? To make sure that you could get here for every single game, and Tyler and I had a lot to say about the Thunder and the Hornets. Tyler likes the Hornets here, doesn't think this will be one of our upset specials, was looking at a couple of player performance doubles rather than maybe just laying the 9. What are your thoughts on this game, and how are you approaching it from a daily fantasy perspective?
Yeah, I mean, this just seems like an absolute smash spot for the Hornets. I mean, the Thunder have played a few close games, but man, it seems like they have to give like max effort for them to stay in these games, and just seems like a prime spot where LaMelo Ball really gets it done. He's going a little underlooked in DFS formats, and if you just go back and look at the last few point guards. So you can make the case for Ball or Terry Rozier. But, I mean, man, guards have been crushing OKC in all formats, just from a raw scoring to distributing. So I feel like it's going to be a spot where LaMelo Ball really, racks up the stat sheet and puts up a big number. I'm going to be very heavily over-owned on him in DFS formats. Like, I have him, if you look at the heat map, I got him as a core play. I'm looking at some ownership projections and, like, man, it looks low, like under 5%, which is kind of surprising to me. I think he's a phenomenal play tonight, and that's where I'm going to go in this game.
Yeah, I like it, AP. I was looking here, right? I think if you're going for the mid-tier build, this game's got a lot of options, right? Stars and scrubs, you might stay away from it. I don't see those huge values. And then, the highest priced guy in the game here looks like it's going to be LaMelo Ball at just 8,600, Shea 8,500. Both guys have a, I'd say 60-point plus ceiling, right, on their very best night. So if you go for a mid-tier build, you definitely should be incorporated in this game. Am I right here?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, I guess the one thing that's difficult with the Hornets is it could be Terry Rozier or Ball. It could be Bridges or Gordon. I mean, Gordon, like, he's one of the most frustrating rosters, so I just stay away from him. He'll have his, like, random, 50-point game, DK points, fantasy points. But I think it's a good get right spot for LaMelo Ball. Minutes are, back up there. He's coming off a nice little triple-double against Boston. The shot is still a little off, and I think it's a good spot for him to get back on track.
All right, let's jump into the next game. Los Angeles Lakers, boy, coming off a pretty disappointing loss at home to the Pacers, now hit the road. I think it's a 6 or 7 game road trip that LA will embark upon. They've fallen below 500 now with their recent stretch where they've lost 4 of their last 5. They head to Orlando to take on the Magic. This number's plus 4.5. I think it opened at 5.5. Magic took some money. Wow, that actually surprises me. As bad as the Lakers have played, I mean, like the Magic are like 8-38 on the year. 4.5 points isn't a lot. It's not like you're catching 9 or 10 in this situation. Of course, the story from Wednesday night was Frank Vogel not playing Russell Westbrook in crunch time. And of course, everybody noticed, and LeBron kind of avoided answering some questions about it afterwards. JSU and I talked about it yesterday. And one of my theories was, hey, maybe Vogel knows the writing's on the wall. He's about to get fired. So he's like, if I'm going to get fired, I'm going to at least do it with my best lineup. I'm not going to get fired with the guy that they gave me that I really didn't want in the first place. That being said, I'm not getting involved in this game. I don't want to take the Lakers, but I don't think 4.5 is enough, and my numbers don't either. But still, not going to take the Lakers here. Tyler, long-winded breakdown, but where are you landing on this game?
Yeah, I mean, I know it sucks we start off with 2 games that I'm pretty much just going to throw right out the window, but this Magic lineup, at least. Yeah, this Magic lineup's going to throw the same lineup at the Lakers, similar to what the Jazz did. They're going to have to put the Dwight Howard on the floor because they're going to send out Bamba and Carter together. You can't just send out LeBron at center versus that lineup. So kind of small lean to the Orlando side, but I'm staying away from this game. If you had to pin me down, though, give me Orlando.
Yeah, well, the market agreed with you, Tyler. This moved a point, and I was surprised. But, I guess Friday night at home, and you got to think that, even if it's not in L.A., the Magic know this will probably be one of their most viewed games of the year that's not on national TV. Good chance they get up for it. AP, how are you approaching this one?
Yeah, I agree quite a bit. I mean, this is these are big games for these teams that aren't very good. I mean, the Lakers right now are beatable, and these teams see that. I mean, even a team like the Magic, Cole Anthony, Mo Bamba coming off a monster game, Jalen Suggs is back starting. I mean, a chance to, for these young guys to play against, LeBron, Russell Westbrook, who hasn't been good at all. I think they get up for the game, and I think they're live to win here potentially. Would not surprise me at all because the Lakers are just, in shambles right now. It's LeBron needs to come out and have a monster game. Carmelo could be back. He needs to come out and play good. I mean, I don't know. If you're a Lakers fan and, if you had high hopes for this season, I mean, you got to be praying that Anthony Davis gets back soon and looks good when he gets back because as it stands right now, they're in trouble. So I like this game. I think it's a really good Cole Anthony spot. Players against Lakers, I mean, have been hitting at a pretty high clip. They're not sound defensively at all. And it makes sense. I mean, look at the different bodies that they're rotating in. Now they have a little bit better pieces defensively, but still they don't have a lot of reps playing together. I'm talking Trevor Ariza, Avery Bradley, and then, the whole stuff with Russell Westbrook. So really interesting spot. I think you go LeBron. I think LeBron is a fantastic play tonight. I mean, he's not going to want to lose to the Orlando Magic. So I think he's going to do everything that he can to make sure that doesn't happen. So I see a monster night for him. I think you can play Cole Anthony. I think you can look at Jalen Suggs. Mo Bamba is a little bit tougher because Wendell Carter Jr. is expected back tonight. So it muddies up the front court just a little bit. But I'm a little, from DFS wise, I couldn't believe it. I think I was adjusting projections that night, and I finally got to start looking at some of the games, and I'm like looking at Mo Bamba against Philly, and I'm like, is this stat line like for real? Like, I think he had hit like 7 threes, so I mean, it was just incredible. I don't know if I'm going to get there, but I think he's in consideration for sure.
All right. Yeah. And one thing I was thinking while you were giving your breakdown, AP, because you did talk about the defense, Bradley, Ariza, right, need to be worked in. And for the whole Fire Vogel drama that's going on right now, and who knows, this could be just completely manufactured. But I will come down on the side, and it's going to come down to whether or not LeBron wants him gone or not. But I'll come down on the side that you shouldn't. I think if this team is going to get good and is going to make noise and really be a championship contender, it will be on the strength of their defense. Anthony Davis was getting maligned a lot earlier in the year because he couldn't shoot. But if you watch what he was doing on the defensive end, it was probably one of his best years as a defensive player. When he comes back, that team's going to look completely different. And who better, right, than Frank Vogel to go ahead and implement that? Because who are you going to fire that's going to run better defensive schemes than Vogel right now, right? Maybe in off season or something when some people are available to come in and do it right away. I think it's a little bit far-fetched. So I think it's a little wild that they're considering firing him. But, if LeBron wants him gone, Taco Tuesday, he will not be there. The Los Angeles Clippers are plus 8.5, heading to Philly to take on the 76ers. Tyler, right? Our favorite prop. It keeps on hitting. Embiid scored 50 points in 27 minutes against the Magic. This guy is making a serious case for MVP. What are your thoughts on this game?
I mean, I hope everybody bet the MVP like a week and a half ago when I said it was 30-1 because now he's 8.5 to 1.
It's 5-1 at certain books.
Yeah, so he's back. He's right back in the race. Everyone wants to give it to Jokic, yet I don't think Denver's all that good this year. Yeah, he's dragging him around, but they're going to look to give it to somebody else because we know how bad they bashed him after they gave it to him last year. So I don't see that happening. I think it's a 3-man race. Giannis, Steph, Embiid, maybe John.
Oh, you got to put Jokic in there. He's in the race at least.
I think he's in the race, but I don't think they're going to give it to him. I think it would take the other 3 falling out for him to get
Here's why I say he's in the race. He's the most durable out of everyone you mentioned. Giannis probably second.
Fred, I'm not arguing any of those points. The media doesn't like him. They're not going to want to give it to him.
I mean, you just pushed one Morris brother and no one likes you anymore, huh?
Well, they didn't like him last year. Remember they were calling him the worst MVP ever?
Yeah, that was weird too.
Yeah, they're not giving it to him again this year.
All right, real quick, let's talk about the games. -8.5. I hate this number. They did a great job. This is right about where I have it at. Even after adjusting for the Clippers with no Paul George, we have plenty of information on it now. I think it's been at least 15 or 16 games. So if you just adjust your inputs to that, I figure you're getting a pretty good idea. Those Clipper teams can be scrappy sometimes. They can keep it close, but it seems like it's, right past that, foul at the end of the game, down by less than 6 margin. Did you have thoughts on the side here or the total, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was looking to see if I could get a Clippers team total under because you got to think 76ers are going to lock in on them on defense.
Mm-hmm.
The Clippers, unless they're hitting threes, they're not really going to be able to score points here. I wouldn't be surprised if they're held to like 100 to 105 points here.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at their team total, I mean, 102.5 short, so I can't really do much with that. So I'm going to stay away from that. If you could find that at about 105, I'd take it. But
okay.
Outside of that, maybe an Embiid prop again, over 30.5.
All right. AP, we went through a lot there. We discussed AP, Embiid for MVP. AP, you could be our MVP too with that heat map. And, of course, the -8.5. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this game. So, man, I have no read on the Clippers at all. I will be truthful and honest when I'm admitting that Reggie Jackson, he went from just looking like an absolute bum to the last 2 games against Indy and Denver, looking at least aggressive and trying to carry this team a little bit offensively. But I just got, worries when it comes to DFS. Like anytime I try to get back on some of these guys, it just they hurt my feelings. So on a slate like this where we have so many different options, I'm going to mark a guy like Reggie Jackson as like a GPP filler. If you're looking at that heat map, and what that means is I don't want to necessarily take someone off of that play if they have a good read on him because he has shown production, he's shown upside recently. So I don't think I'm going to be on him, but I do think he's going to be very low owned. He's shown some upside, and we've been playing opposing guards against Philly when Tyrese Maxey is starting, and especially when Thibault is out all season long. So you can make a good case for him. I do think there are better plays, but if you want to get a little frisky in tournaments, you can play Reggie Jackson or Amir Coffey. I think both of those guys, I wouldn't play them together. I think one or the other. Both of those guys have a lot of potential here. I'm not touching the front court at all. Mo Bamba went off when Embiid was out of that game, got hurt there for a little bit, then came back and just had a monster game. We just saw what Jokic did against Zubac and company. So Embiid is fully capable of doing that as well. And I'm showing, somewhat low ownership on him. So I think it's a good spot for Joel Embiid. I think you go Embiid. You go maybe Reggie Jackson if you want to have some sort of, stack correlation there. But outside of those two, I'm not really interested in anyone else here.
Yeah, and AP, if we were to make a Run Pure DFS dictionary, right, and we put high variance play in there, you turn the page, it's probably gonna have a picture of Reggie Jackson, right? Because he could kill it, or he could give you that 11-point snowflake as well. So it'd be interesting to see how he ends up doing.
The player performance doubles for this game. We can get Joel Embiid double and Philly wins at even money.
What's him over 30 and Philly wins?
They jumped that number up. It's not a 30 anymore. It's 35 plus.
And what is it, like +2 something?
Plus 300.
I think both those are worth a look.
I'd take the double first before I take the 35 plus.
Really? It seems like the points has been safer than the rebounds lately, though.
If you look at his game log, it's all like 31, 32, 31, 30.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like I'm not banking on him getting those 5 extra points to where he can grab me 26 and 14 and win the game by 20. So I'll take the double at even money.
All right, that's a fun way to approach this game, and I'd say credit to us because I think these 3 games have been pretty well lined to start with. This next game, I do like the line though. I'm ready to take a stand and give out a play that I like. The Miami Heat are now +2 heading to Atlanta to take on the Hawks. Is this a market move or was someone put on the injury report? Oh, Kyle Lowry. Okay, I was kind of expecting that. Tyler Hero, we already knew he was going to be out. KZ Okpala. Bogdanovic is out. Capella's questionable. Maybe he was upgraded. That could have moved it. Gallinari and Georgie Deng is questionable as well. Tyler, I like the Heat here. I'm going to take the money line. Yes, they've already beat Atlanta twice this season. I just think they have Atlanta's number, right? Because they can crank up the defensive intensity, but they can still score when Atlanta tries to crank up the defensive intensity because they're just – I just love the matchup. They have the perimeter defenders to stop them, even without Lowry. And I think, they can negate Capella inside because they do a lot of jump shooting. And Butler doesn't mind trying to finish against contact. So he's still going to draw the defense to open up the 3-point shots for Miami. I just love the matchup here. I can't necessarily point to any statistics, but I watched both the games because I've had money on Miami both times. I'm going right back to it. I'm taking the Heat again. What are your thoughts, Tyler?
I'm right with you. I'm not overthinking this one. I think they play better defense, just like you said. Give me the Heat at the plus money for the third time in a row against this Atlanta team. That's looking forward to the playoffs when they're not even in the picture right now.
Yeah.
Now, do we think Capella's going to play? I think he's going to be out.
Yeah, I thought he was too. So I took a little Miami this morning thinking that I was going to be ahead of the market. Now it looks like, you'd be better off just taking it right now. That makes me think he might play. I think they've already had a shoot around. So my guess is if he's still questionable, we could see him. I think he's more likely than maybe at 8 a.m. when I was reading those reports. What do you think?
Yeah, I just see ankle injury. He's been out for a while. I just think they sit him one more game. But looking at this, we can get Bam to get a double-double. Miami wins plus 350. And we're getting that we're getting the extra juice on them odds because they're an underdog here. So those numbers bounce all the way up. So it's like you want to take Jimmy Butler 10 plus assists, plus 450. You think he's going to dominate them on the points, 25 plus points, and they win, plus 450. So you could just target this game any way you want on the Miami side.
I like the double-double better. Hey, Tyler, you know where I like those assist props? At home. Give me that kind home court score, right?
Yeah.
Give you assist even though, right, the guy might have done a full layup. AP, how are you approaching this one?
Yeah, fantasy-wise, so, yeah, I actually like Tyler's call quite a bit with the Heat and the points. I think, Jimmy Butler should be a little extra motivated, ejected last game. And man, what's going on with these ejections? Like, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Like, some of them are just such,
that was the softest ejection.
Terrible. Gosh, the other softest one was that Canadian ref that came in. It was like the first time ref in the game.
The Kyle Lowry one?
Yeah.
Where he threw the ball at him?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was bad.
So I was, we got Tambo on staff. He's Canadian, so I any chance I can give him shit about Canada being soft, I always do it. Shout out to you though, Tambo. We love you, man. Just got to give you some crap. So when I look at this team, Hawks team defensively, at least from a fantasy standpoint, so there can be teams that are good defensively that run at a very high pace, but teams will still put up, good fantasy numbers against them, like the Bucks, for example. And so I'm talking from a fantasy standpoint, man, they've been terrible against wings. They've been terrible in the front court, probably a lot to do with Clint Capella not playing recently. So I think this is a really good spot for Jimmy Butler. People are going to have a nasty taste in their mouth from Jimmy on Wednesday when we had a massive slate, the ejection there. And prior to the ejection, he was going off to a slow start. People were already tilting him before the ejection, which is just stupid. It's Jimmy Butler. He's going to get the run, and he's going to get it done. So, you don't tilt a player like that. I love him, absolutely love him as a lower-owned play, surprisingly. In a phenomenal matchup. I think he has a big game tonight. I think Bam could also have a big game here. And, I think even Gabe Vincent, he looked good running point last game. Probably got a little bit higher usage with Jimmy off the court, but still they're going to want to have one of these guys, a guy like him or Kyle Guy. I don't think he's going to get, many minutes, maybe 15 to 18, running the ball at a running point all the time. So, give me the Heat side here, fantasy-wise. And, I guess you could run it back with DeAndre Hunter if you want. I think he's going to be, fine play. The problem with him, he does have a floor. He's typically much more raw scoring dependent. We're not seeing him, typically crashing the boards, especially if Capella and Collins are both in. So I wouldn't mind moving off of him, coming off a nice game there. But yeah, like the Heat side here. I'm with Tyler on that one.
All right. Sounds like we like the Heat. Tyler, this might be our official Travis Mangone wait for the news game. The Portland Trailblazers catching 8.5 against the Celtics. Celtics laying 8.5 at home. Boy, that's a lot for a team, but they have won 5 of their last 7. Total 212. Why wait for the news? Our guy, Marcus Smart's questionable, right? I like the Blazers here if Smart doesn't play. If not, I'm fine staying away from it. What are your thoughts?
Give me the over. If he ain't in, they're going to get up and down this floor. They're going to put up a ton of points. There ain't nobody to guard Tatum or Brown. There ain't nobody to guard McCollum, Simons, and these guys. These two teams are both going to put up 110 plus if they get up and down the floor. That 212 is way too short. Give me the over there.
I like that. AP, what do you think? You're muted.
Donkey muted. I got I got to mute myself more because my kids are in the background running around. Fridays now, the schools for this month, they've canceled school on Friday, so the kids are it's like they're never in school. I mean, but anyway,
what a time to be alive, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like these
one too many years too quick. I could have had all these days off from school.
I know. And my kids downstairs playing Halo on the Xbox and Fortnite and all that stuff. I'm like, God, what a time. I mean, incredible stuff. But I like that call. 212 does seem a little too low. I mean, what? All right, this Blazers team somehow. I mean, they went from being one of the worst teams defensively. I don't know if it's a pace type thing or it's just they're playing better team defense, but they've been better defensively, at least from a fantasy standpoint. They've been tougher on point guards, tougher, especially against wings. So I'll always have interest in Tatum or Brown, not together. People get too tilted by Tatum. I mean, he erupts for these monster games, or he busts like we saw last game in what I thought was a good spot against Charlotte. He got into some early foul trouble. I think he just got out of rhythm. If he can get into rhythm early in a matchup like this one, he can always have a big night. So if you're playing multiple entries, I always suggest getting a piece of Tatum just because he can single-handedly break a slate if these other studs on the slate underperform. So he's a guy of interest in. And on the Blazers side, I'm not as interested just with Simons and CJ McCollum. Both there, both priced up. That one of them could get there, but I think we have better value or better price plays on the slate. So for me, it's maybe a one-off like Tatum or Brown. Otherwise, I'm probably moving on from this game.
All right, let's get to another game that I like. Toronto Raptors are catching 1 in Washington. Wizards -1. This is about a pick 'em this morning. Maybe -1, but it was definitely juiced to the Raptors side. I think the line move's correct here. The Raptors are a better team than the Washington Wizards. But the Wizards are in the middle of an 8-game homestand, while the Raptors have played 5 games out of their last 8. And as AP will attest, right, Nick Nurse does not use a big rotation, right? So this is 7 guys that have been playing 5 and 8. And you contrast that to the Wizards, right? In their last game, they played 11 guys. Only Bradley Beal played more than 31 minutes. Beal had 36. No other starter or player had more than 31. I think this is kind of like a fatigue situation spot, and you have to do that when you're capping the NBA. It's not just capping the matchups, and if everyone is full strength, you kind of just got to learn when to fade these teams. Last game of the road trip for the Raptors, I'm going to take the Wizards, even though they're probably the worst team, in neutral, rested situations. But I'm taking the worst team because I think they're in the better situation. Tyler, what do you think?
I got to go opposite of you here. I mean, I like all the arguments. I like the fatigue argument, but I think the Raptors match up so much better with this team.
Okay.
I mean, they're going to have the advantage inside.
Mm-hmm.
Siakam should be able to eat. Scotty Barnes is going to be unguardable by this team. They'll lock down Kuzma. They'll slow down Beal. Dinwiddie's going to have some problems. So it's where's Washington's offense going to come from? And Fred VanVleet could light this team up. So I'm going to take the Raptors side in this one. I think they get it done before they go home. They're going to pick up this win. I mean, they almost beat Dallas a few nights ago. They held within 4 with them. I think Dallas wipes the floor with this Washington team.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you could say that. They've won 10 of their last 12. AP, I like the Wizards. Tyler likes the Raptors. Break the tie.
Yeah, so it's really tough because, like, I like what Spread had to say about the fatigue. We've taken advantage of a few spots like that this season, but I agree with Tyler when it comes to matchup. When you look at this team, when you just look at, like, because I was breaking this down, I'm like, man, we can play at least two pieces from the Raptors side. I'm looking at Siakam and probably Freddie VanVleet at 8'5" and 9'2". You can play them both in your lineups, but man, you have OG Anunoby, and then you have Scotty Barnes in there too. Just so much length, and then Precious, he's been playing good, and then our boy, Chris Boucher, he's playing 33 plus minutes off the bench, tons of length. It's got everything that Tyler said. It's going to give Kyle Kuzma fits. They have the length. Track Bradley Beal down, and I feel like, last game of the road trip, I think they go home with the win. So I'm going to side with Tyler here. Close game, though, and I think it's going to be one that we want to look at fantasy-wise. Not the Wizards side. They run a 14-man or whatever rotation. They have a lot that they need to do. I feel like they have to be a team that's looking to move some pieces up near the trade deadline. Even though we haven't heard a ton, I don't think, about this team. When you just look at them, they got too much going on. Rui Hachimura, Thomas Bryant, Davis Bertans, Kuzma, Gafford, Trez Harrell, all in the front court. I mean, you got to do something with that. It's just too many bodies down there. So I'm siding with Toronto here, and I like Freddie VanVleet. I think he has a big night. I like Pascal Siakam. I think both of them are very much in play tonight. You can play them both, and when you do, you're guaranteed almost 40 minutes out of each of them. So you minutes-wise, you should feel very good about those two guys in your lineups.
All right. Love the different discourse here. And I think we did make some good points there, Tyler. Good points on both sides for whichever way they want to get involved in this game. And I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. I guess, the happy medium, Tyler, right? Can we arb this game? This is one I was thinking I want to watch.
Sure.
So
maybe the other way I think you can't arb is if Toronto goes out and they just punch them right in the face and just take the game over.
See, I was thinking if they go out and they go 3 from 18 from 3 because their legs are tired and they're down by 15.
I just think their defense is just going to lock in tonight.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll be looking forward to that one and maybe arb it if Tyler and I, both swayed you and you can't make a decision. The Chicago Bulls plus 10.5 heading to Milwaukee to take on the Bucks minus 10.5 for the Bucks at home with Drew Holiday back. He didn't play a lot of minutes, but boy, he makes their defense so much better. Chicago missing their starting backcourt. Lonzo Ball going to be out for a while. Zach LaVine, not as bad, but he's still going to miss some more time. They both have knee injuries. Boy, that's tough for probably one of the most exciting teams and one of the best stories in the NBA this offseason. I took my L there. I was a little doubter of all the additions. I thought maybe it might have been a lot of names and they weren't going to fit well together. I was wrong. They look great when they're full strength, but they're not at full strength, but they're catching 10.5. Tyler, what do we do here?
I mean, it's a tough one because all the guys Chicago has out, and they're coming off that win against Cleveland that we didn't think they were going to pick up the other night.
Yeah, I know. They look good, right? 117-104.
Yeah, 10's a lot, but just like you said, Milwaukee's defense is starting to pick back up. And they tend to just blow teams out in certain spots. I think this could be one of them spots where they just wipe the floor with Chicago and they win this game by like 25. Mm-hmm. And tomorrow, everyone's asking what's wrong with the Bulls when it's just one of those spots where the Bucks just do this to any team. So give me the Bucks here. And looking at it, I see Giannis's rebounds are set at 11.5. It's basically him versus Vucevic down there. Give me that over 11.5. And that this guy that's playing point guard for the Bulls, Dosunmu, his assist
their second round draft pick, yeah.
His assist props 4.5 plus money. He started 3 games spread. 10 assists, 6 assists, 8 assists. Give me the over 4.5 at plus money.
Hey, if you're a rookie and you're trying to ingratiate yourself to the new teammates, no better way than to pass them the ball. AP, out of all the ones that Tyler mentioned, he made a great point on Ayo Dosunmu. But I think I really like that Giannis prop. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I mean, I thought the Bucks were going to, blow out the Grizzlies. They ended up winning by quite a bit, but the game was close down the stretch there, and then they pulled away. Gosh, I mean, all the Bucks need to do here is lock up Vucevic and DeRozan and make Kobe White, Dosunmu, and Troy Brown, and then Alex Caruso off the bench, who still might be limited. minutes wise, beat you. So I agree with Tyler here. I can't touch it. I do think the Bucks win potentially by double digits, but it's a tough number for me to touch. I think what you could do, like, sure, DeRozan could get there. He's going to play a bunch of minutes. But, man, from a defensive standpoint, they're going to be all over him, and same with Vucevic. And the Bucks have, the size and length to handle those two guys. So if you want to, get a little risky, you could go back to AO. He's been very good, but very efficient also. I don't think I'm going to go there, but, in tournaments, I wouldn't talk someone off of it. But, man, you're really relying on him getting some peripherals and maybe Kobe White. I'm probably just going to be under on this game, though, and hope for a Bucks blowout.
All right.
With that in mind, maybe a slight lean to the under as well.
All right. Yeah, I like that. I think the consensus here is when it comes to the Bulls and the Bucks, you lay it or you do not play it. The Brooklyn Nets catching one in San Antonio with the Spurs. Nets are one we always have to check the injury report. Paul Millsap is out. I think I read a report that they are going to try and look for a trade for him as he is not satisfied with his role.
I thought they already parted ways.
That's why it says out here.
That's where I got the notification yesterday or the day before that they parted ways.
I thought it was that they were going to try and move him, but he's still on the team, but he's not going to play until they move him.
They could be doing that.
Regardless, yeah. It's the same effect on our handicap. He's
Yep.
not going to play for the team ever again, and he's going to be on a different team. What me and you were talking about is whether or not they're going to get compensation or he just bounces. But I think they're setting up for a trade for him. We'll double check though. Could be wrong. Been staying up late watching the Australian Open. The San Antonio Spurs laying one at home. Who else was out for this game? So Nico Claxton is doubtful. DeAndre Bembry is questionable. Joe Harris still out, and Hernan Gomez. Right. That's the new addition in the trade. Right. Wasn't there a three-way trade? And Hernan Gomez is now a member of the Spurs. Maybe makes his debut for that team tonight, right? That's the PJ Dozier bowl deal, and I'm not sure who went out for Hernan Gomez to end up on the Spurs. Tyler, did you know about that trade, and can you break down the game?
Yeah, I heard about it. I can't remember the other pieces in that trade. It's basically just a bunch of role players getting moved around, so nothing really like impactful. But I mean, the really impactful news spread, I mean, what the Nets going to do without their best player, Paul Millsap?
We'll find out tonight.
Yeah, but looking at this one, if the Spurs were an underdog, give me them all day here.
Mm-hmm.
They're -1.5. They're -120 on the money line. I think they finally caught on to Brooklyn. Like, yeah, they're going to be a powerhouse in the playoffs. They can care less about these regular season games. So we're not getting these giant spreads on them anymore. So I'm not going to play the side, but Jakob Poeltl should just be able to dominate this team inside. 9.5 rebounds at plus money. I'll gladly take that. And same thing with Murray. Over 8.5 rebounds and 8.5 assists. Dude's a triple-double machine. Give me both of those props over.
Yeah, JT Gristle mentioned that in the chat. What is the number for the DeJounte triple-double?
Just the triple-double, it's plus 450.
Oh, that's juicy. And the juicy's going to go over there. Whoever's keeping track yesterday for the number of times we say juicy. So, Tyler, though, you like the Spurs on the side?
If you had to pin me down, yeah, I think they win the game. I'm not betting the side, though. If they were an underdog, I'd be all over them.
Because Nick DePalma was looking Kyrie dub in the W, but if you don't like the side, of course, that's not going to get you anywhere. AP, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this game, so I love the over here. You got Kyrie. It's going to be a monster game for Kyrie. The Spurs still aren't playing defense, and I think it's going to be a monster game for DeJounte Murray. I think he was, one shy away from a triple-double last time they played, and he had less help in that game too. I think he was one rebound short. So go right back to him DFS-wise. You run it back with Kyrie, and you can plug Jakob Poeltl in there too, a way to target in on three guys here to stack this game up. I think that's going to be a really fantastic way. Poeltl had a nice double-double in this game last time. I don't think Kyrie played. Let me pull it up. No, he did not play a home game, so obviously he didn't play. But yeah, sign me up for Kyrie. I'd be curious to see what his points prop is, because I just think he's gonna put up 25 plus shots. I think he's gonna put up 30 plus points. I think he's gonna have a monster night. So Kyrie, DeJounte, Jakob Poeltl, that's kind of where I'm at here, and I'm on the overs. I think this number goes well over 235.
Yeah, and that's why I like having you on here, right? Because originally I see that 235 and the books do their job because I'm scared. I'm like, that's a lot of points.
We hit that 239 one. The other day.
So I got to stop being afraid. So thank you for talking me into that. Going off kind of what we were talking about, if you want to combine those, right, and not do the Kyrie dub, now you go the DeJounte triple dub and the Spurs to win plus 870. That's not bad. And let's ask for you on this one, Tyler. Kyrie over 5.5 assists, minus 106. That's not bad at all. Not laying very much juice at all. Do you like Kyrie over 5.5 assists, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate that prop. I just think he's going to be used more of a scorer tonight to where Harden's going to get all the distributing. So I like AP's call. His points prop's 25.5. Mm-hmm. I'd gladly take you over there.
All right. I like the over in this game too. AP sold me. I already liked it to begin with. I thought they would line it like 231 or 232. I'm getting pretty close to 235, but you guys make some good points. So that's a lot of fun. Let us go to the next game. The Detroit Pistons plus 13 against the Utah Jazz. Boy, two teams coming off disappointing losses, if I remember correctly, right? Because the Jazz are coming off that loss to the Rockets, which let's go ahead, take that lap, Tyler. Get out those running shoes because I was talking about taking the points and you said take them straight up. Once again, you hit another big underdog here on the NBA Rundown, brought to you by Run Pure Sports. What a great pick that was. And then, of course, the Pistons. Oh, wait, no, the Pistons are coming off the win over the Kings, aren't they?
Yeah, they beat your Kings. It was like a 134 to 133 game.
That game was in my mind. I forgot which team it was bad for. Right?
All right, so think back to that game and you see that total. Don't you think Cade Cunningham has a monster game? He ended up sucking. He ended up like almost.
Yeah, I know. That was crazy, huh?
I was big on him on in DFS formats and – I think it was I forget, Sadiq Bey maybe had a big game, and so yeah. But anyways,
yeah, we thought that was a good matchup too for Cade going against those Kings forwards. Tyler, so I was wrong. Pistons coming off the big win, Jazz coming off the big loss. Is this easy? How do you approach it?
I think I got to take Detroit here, spread. Still no Donovan Mitchell. This offense is going to look like shit. Mm-hmm. And Rudy Gobert might not play either. So now their defense is going to take a hit. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, yeah, they get Rudy Gay back, but this isn't a team that's going to small ball you at center like how Houston was with Christian Wood. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Isaiah Stewart's not the biggest guy, but they play more of like an aggressive style of basketball. So I think they could definitely win this game. Give me the points for sure. And I kind of like the under here because this isn't going to be the Houston team that ran you off the floor like the other night. They're going to grit and grind you and try and beat you up. So I like that under 218.
Under correlates with grabbing the points as well. AP, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough for me to pick a side or a side of the total here. So I'll probably be off. When it comes to DFS, is going to be a priority game to target with Joe Ingles getting the bump, Bogdanovich getting the bump, Jordan Clarkson being another premier piece to target. You could go to Mike Conley. And then, yeah, I agree. So Gobert was a midday downgrade to questionable, which often it seems like that means, this person might take the night off. It's like when they come in to the slate questionable, and if they've been questionable and playing, seems like that's usually the correct trend. But anytime like a random guy gets added to the list, it's like, I'm always like, well, there's a decent chance they might play or might not play. So keep an eye on, what might happen there. They could go small. I'm actually not entirely sure. Are they going to use Pascal? Are they going to, get Rudy Gay in there? Are they going to move Royce to the 5? There's a lot of things that they could do here. So you got to just keep an eye on the news. I think it's going to be a premier game, though, to target for safety. And if you got stuff, it's Friday night. If you got stuff going on, here's how you play it. Play Joe Ingles, play Jordan Clarkson, and look at Bogdanovich. No matter what happens, those guys are going to be solid plays. So you can feel good about that. If you're able to monitor the news, wait for the starting lineup for sure. And I mean, like Kelly Olynyk keeps staring me in the face just because no one's going to play him. And this dude gets in there and just shoots a ton. I don't know if you guys have a take on him, but I'm kind of looking at him. Otherwise, man, I don't want to play any of these Detroit Pistons guys. They piss me off too often.
Yeah, I think Olynyk's at the point of his career. He doesn't give an F anymore. He's made his money. He doesn't have another big contract coming up, right? he might as well just chuck because, right, he's not costing himself any money. I don't think no matter what he does, he's going to get a contract better than the one he has right now. So I think he's out there having fun, and I think he's a pretty good teammate as well. Like, I don't think he's, shooting double teams, right? Stuff that's really going to piss his team off. These are some young guys. They probably do look up for him, right? Probably half of them are like, dude, this guy's half as athletic as me, and he's made a career for 10 years. Like, let me see what he's doing. He has to be doing something, right? Like, if he can have a 10-year career, so can I. Tyler, I do like the plus 13 there. And, of course, I always hear in Travis's head, wait for the news, but it looks like the Jazz are going to be a solid play in DFS. The Memphis Grizzlies plus 3 heading to Denver to take on the Nuggets. Grizzlies took money here. This was plus 4, plus 3.5 points. Now it's 3. Money line's plus 137. I'll tell you what, Tyler, that is tempting to me. I know the Grizzlies are missing their second and third scorers, right? They're missing Dylan Brooks and Desmond Bane, right? And the Nuggets are missing their second and third scorers for like 2 months, right? With Jamal Murray and not playing.
More like 2 years spread.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were pretty good for that one little stretch, right? When they had all 3 of them. I think even Jeremy Grant was on the team at that point. Jog my memory a tad here. I like the Grizzlies. I'm going to take the money line. Am I underrating the reigning MVP that you don't think will repeat?
No. I mean, look what it took for this team to win that game the other night, spread. It took him literally telling everybody else, go stand in the corners. I got to do this all by myself.
Right.
So
he's not lying at all.
Yeah, Memphis isn't a team you're gonna be able to do this against. I agree. Take the money line, screw the points. John Morant's gonna eat at the rim here. Jokic is a great player, not the best defender. He's not holding that rim away from John Morant all game. They're gonna eat at the rim. Adams is gonna cause Jokic a bit of fits down low, but of course, when he drags him outside, he's not gonna be able to do anything against them. So give me Memphis here at the plus money. I know they've been a thorn in my side, but this team's rolling, and I like the matchup here. So give me it.
No, I mean, I'm glad we agree. And I was going to make this point before I threw it over to AP. But another reason I like Memphis, what you were saying about Adams, right? He's going to be pretty good against him down low. Like, nobody's stopping him. But, if you were to choose.
Did you guys see the video of him annoying Claxton in the last game they played?
No, what happened?
He just walks over and he, digs his head into his shoulder. And they're at the free throw line. He's grabbing his hip, messing with him, and Claxton's smacking his hand off of him. You can just see he's getting frustrated. And
there's nothing you can do because you can't fight that guy. He'll just wreck you.
Yeah.
Who was the dude he just picked up in the fight? The guy that tried to get in Morant's face.
I can't remember.
I think it was a Raptor, Kem Birch, or one of those, and he just picked him up like AP's picking up his kids when they're missing school.
It was a backup center. What's his name? Tony Bradley.
Yeah, right. I mean, he just picked him up the way you picked up your kids if he's playing too much Call of Duty, right? I mean,
there's 2 guys in the NBA you don't fight. One of them's Steven Adams, the other one's James Johnson.
Yeah, the black belt. So AP, just to finish that, right? So he's asking how Prom's getting dragged out. Memphis already knows that. I expect their coach to go ahead and set that up so they know to get help or just to switch automatically. But if he is getting killed on the perimeter, you're just going to put Jaren Jackson on him. Same deal. Jaren Jackson will get beat down low. My point is, you're not going to stop Jokic. Most you can do is just give him different looks, right? And kind of confuse him and not let him get in a rhythm. I think Memphis is actually suited to do that. They won the first meeting this season in December, but it was in Memphis. Now they play in Denver. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it was telling on Wednesday night. The Clippers went on a 20-2 run or something like that. It was crazy. They had to bring Jokic back in, and then he basically played the rest of the game because they couldn't do anything with him off the court. I mean, this team is so desperate for scoring. They brought in Bryn Forbes, spot up shooter, may help to stretch things out a little bit, but
I think it helps a lot.
He's been shooting good this year too. He's historically been a pretty streaky shooter. It seems like I think coming out of Michigan State, but he's been good this year. So I think that at least will help them to stretch things out a little bit. But man, this team is just struggles offensively when he's off the court. I like the Grizzlies here. I'm with I don't need to repeat it. I'm with what Tyler said. I like John Morant. I think he's – this is the thing with this slate. If you look at the heat map, I think I got 12 core plays. And we always get it hey, you have people expect those core play tags should just be able to fill out their lineup and that be their lineup. That's not the case. That's not the purpose of the tool. The purpose of the tool is to highlight who all is in play and try to help you make those decisions. It's not going to make them for you, though. So John Morant, phenomenal play tonight. I think he's going to have a big night. And I think the Grizzlies get the win on the road here, even though I'm a Nuggets fan and I would like to see them get the win.
Yeah, right. AP, it's not a 3-game slate like we had last night, right? With 11 games, there's going to be so many guys that you can build around. And that's the tool that the heat map is used for. And I actually really found it useful to judge my guys when I fill in, right? So I build my lineup, I watch the show, I'm using the cores, and now I've landed somewhere, right? And I have a certain price and a certain position. Then I go to the heat map, and that's where it really helped me when I was building the lineup. So many different ways to use these tools. Brought to you by runpuresports.com. If you're not already a member, head on over there. Use the promo code GetBets. What's up, Tyler?
We talked about Ben Simmons trade destinations before.
Yeah.
I know they're a winning team, and we really don't want to put them in this situation, but Denver's got a lot of pieces that just they're just hanging out on the shelf right now.
Yeah.
It sucks that they're all hurt, but like you call Philly and it's like, here's Jamal Murray. Here's a half-broken Michael Porter Jr. Here's a first-round pick. Give us back the guy that's going to play defense for us and help man the inside, and also give us another passer next to Jokic. I don't hate that fit. What do you guys think?
That's an interesting one for me. I don't know who says no. Because Jamal
I think
Murray and Embiid would be
Denver
ridiculous,
no.
but you think so?
Yeah.
But he's ready to go right now. I mean, and an MPJ, he might never even play again. So that's interesting.
I can't believe they gave that guy all that money. But
I honestly think that was the plan when they gave him all that money. It was, you're going to be the main contract in this trade for Ben Simmons, and then he went down, and now it's like, well, now we have $100 million on the bench.
Yeah. And John Wall says hi. The Houston Rockets, where John Wall is hanging out on the bench, getting paid $40-something million. Can you imagine that? Man, that guy's doing something right.
He doesn't even hang out on the bench, though, does he? He's not
even supposed to be around the team.
Yeah, they're like, just stay away.
There's certain players that he hangs out with. I think your boy Jalen Green's one of them, where he watches tape with them. But that's purely a friendship deal. That has nothing to do with the contract, and he's not required to do it either. But that's pretty much the extent of his involvement with the team, is just basically tutoring like Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. off film study. Rockets catching 10.5, coming off the win that I referenced. Warriors were the team that I was thinking about coming off a pretty bad loss, and that, of course, was to the Pacers in overtime last night. And to make matters worse, right, the Pacers playing without their best player, Domantas Sabonis. Boy, tough loss for the Warriors, but it's one of those 82-game season ones where, to me, I don't adjust my ratings at all. It's just, to me, a blip in the radar here. And I think the Warriors get back on track. You don't make any moves or adjustments. These things happen when you play the grueling schedule that these guys do. Even with the loss, Tyler, Warriors still have the best home record in the NBA at 19-4 this season. Their point differential at home, I didn't adjust it after that Pacers game, but it couldn't move too much. It's about -14, right? So if you're just going simply off that, right, almost might be getting value going against one of the worst teams in the league in Houston. One more stat I'd like to throw out there, though. Houston starts the season, what were they, like 1-16? They're like 13-16 So, right, as bad as they were, they're kind of becoming that team, Tyler, that we talked about when we did the previews before the season, right? And we said we might be back in this team a lot. They're really going to be able to score, and there's going to be nights that they catch teams overlooking them. That seems to be the case, especially with that terrible start. I don't know. I gave you a bunch of numbers, and I don't really know how to approach this game. Can you help me out here, Tyler?
This one's tough for me, Spread. If everyone was in on the Golden State side, I'd say take Golden State. Mm-hmm. Now, Wiggins just now randomly popping up on the injury report worries me.
Yeah, Gary mentioned that to us. He just downgraded questionable. AP mentioned earlier when it goes during the day, let's just count him out for this handicap.
Yeah, I count him out. He's probably not playing. Well, now it's Steph versus the Rockets crew. There's no help for Steph really on the Golden State side now, other than the young guys. Not playing? Well, Poole will be there, but it's just him and Poole basically.
Okay.
So, and I categorize Poole just with those Houston guys. I don't think he's much better than any of those guys over there. So
that's a hot take, but I like it.
So yeah, it's Curry, and the way this game is lining up out on a back-to-back, wouldn't be surprised if Curry's name pops up on this injury report next. So give me the points with Houston here. Okay. I think they keep it close. I think it's a bit too many points. Golden State could be tired, but wouldn't surprise me if they blew them out. But I think it's a couple too many points.
All right, AP. Tyler says Curry has no help. Is he overlooking Jonathan Kuminga, the darling of the cores in the Run Pure Sports world, when he's priced between 3,700 and 4,300 this week and getting there for sure? What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I was really surprised last night. Shout out to our guy, Kay Fallick. He called it, and the Pacers kept pace with them and ultimately won the game in overtime. But, that was the deciding factor in DFS formats. Obviously, that game was just, insane. But
it was such the typical late night hammer that goes to OT, right? And just people
goes to OT,
just climbing up that leaderboard.
Yeah. So I think, Houston coming off 2 wins, kind of licking their chops here. Everyone's healthy on their side. That they probably watched that game last night. They saw what, Kiefer Sykes and these random dudes from the Pacers did. Actually, I think it's Duarte that had a monster night. So, yeah, give me Jalen Green. Give me these guys. Like, I think Jalen Green could have a really big night tonight. He's been kind of hit or miss. And it's kind of tough playing him because, him with KPJ in there, they kind of take from each other. And you get a big, deep rotation from the Rockets side. But still, I think they keep this game close, which in DFS formats makes me interested in the Warriors side because Wiggins added to the injury report. Clay's already out. Iguodala's already out. I'm going right back to Kuminga. He only played 15 minutes yesterday. I think people are going to shy away from him, but the Rockets don't play any defense at all. And man, like it wasn't too long ago, Kuminga put up a 40 piece on the Bulls. So this dude has monster upside. And I think Curry could be a late night hammer if he plays. Like if he plays, he's not going to want to lose to a G League indie team and then to the Rockets back to back. I think Curry, to win this game, is going to have a monster night or a monster night from Jordan Poole, Otto Porter, those type of guys. But keep an eye on Otto Porter. Keep an eye on these guys because if Wiggins sits, it's going to elevate these guys in DFS formats, and you're going to want pieces of them in your lineups. So and they'll be lower owned because it's the lone late hammer an hour after the 9 Eastern games lock. So there's going to be lower ownership on this game.
And
love the call on the Kuminga and Jalen Green because they were G League teammates. They're going at it tonight. Yeah, they both played for the G League tonight.
All right. I'm definitely playing Kuminga, but now I may have sold myself on Jalen Green. I was between him
and those rub me as two guys very competitive. They'll want to go right at each other all night.
Oh, we already saw that with Green against
Cade Cunningham.
Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, he's ultra competitive. He wanted that first pick, and he's gonna be salty about that his whole career. So
yeah, he's gonna be like Aaron Rodgers when he keeps bringing it up, right? And who are some of the other guys that just keep bringing it up?
Stack this game up, and just don't look at your phone or anything. Like play some of these other good spots that we talked about, but get heavy exposure to this game. Don't look at your phone or anything. This game could absolutely explode because the Rockets do not play defense at all, and they got guys that can score. So I think it's
they can score against good defense too. I mean, these are quality scorers. Tyler, I already know you think that Jalen Green's gonna be better than Kuminga, right? But I was arguing Kuminga, right? It could be as good, right? When we're doing our draft preview shows. Are you getting there with what you've seen so far? Because
no, I think he's definitely a solid player.
He's going to be good.
He was just an unknown to me. Like when you watch him in high school, like he was playing like Jalen Green. Don't get me wrong, wasn't playing guys on his level, but you could see the bounce in his legs. You could see the separation on step backs, the jumpers. It's like all this stuff's going to translate to where it's like Kuminga was kind of playing. You're watching him. It's bulldoze your way into the lane, dunk the ball. It's like, yeah, in high school that works. It's like, let's see if that works on the next levels.
Right.
And he did good in the G League, and now he's starting to get used to the game speed here. I think he'll be a solid player.
Yeah, I think he's got all-star potential. Probably 4 years down the line, though.
One thing I want to touch on this game, though, Spread, we talked about a fatigue spot earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Just from the start of January, this is going to be the 11th game or the 12th game for the Warriors. And since the 11th of January, this is going to be the 7th game for the Warriors. If there's anybody with fatigue legs, it's this team.
Well, yeah, and everyone made a big deal out of it, right? Well, because I follow a lot of Warriors Twitter. I'm a Northern California guy, and they were all upset because Steve Kerr gave him an off day before the Pacers game, and they just basically had batting practice out there rather than running a practice. But I think you're right. This is a tired team here. Some great points for the Rockets. All right, guys, the Hardwood Live's about to start, but we're not going to sign off before giving everybody some best bets. And hey, AP, if you got some time, we'll build a core too. Let's start with the core. Tyler, we've talked about a bunch of players. Did you want to start and give us one, Tyler?
For the core?
Yeah. We'll start with AP.
I'm just trying to think. You threw me a curveball.
Yeah,
I was getting best bets ready.
We'll give you a chance. AP, and that way we can have two players out of this core. Who would you start building a core with tonight?
I got Tyler's for him because he's already mentioned him. We're going Jalen Green, and then I'm adding Tyler, and I'm going Kuminga. So we're playing that late game hammer with those two guys. I love that narrative, and I might just run that in my main build too. I think it's phenomenal. So that's where we'll start.
All right, I'm putting them in right now, and that leaves us plenty of money.
That works for me.
So that leaves us.
Are you going to add a play? You going to add a play or not?
Yeah, do you want to add one, Tyler?
No, I mean, I'll go with the two AP set. Okay. I'll just tag along with those.
And I want to know, and let's see how we go, because we've only spent 4,500 plus 4,900.
Oh yeah, we have two values. You
so can I go ahead and grab the first guy that we talked about tonight, because it doesn't completely go crazy here, but a LaMelo Ball at 8,600. It feels pretty good, and it feels like I'm going to have plenty of flexibility to use the heat map to watch the shows, right? Maybe pick out some other guys that we glossed over, right? And I haven't spent myself out of it. So how about I put LaMelo Ball as the next guard, and then I'll let you go ahead and finish it off, AP.
Let's make it a guard little trio there, and let's go Kyrie. So LaMelo, Jalen Green, Kyrie. You could even fit one more guard in there, but with Kuminga, 5.6K left per. So a nice little start.
Great start. All right. I love that. So we've done that. We've been out a little core. If you guys missed it, it's going to be Jalen Green, LaMelo Ball, Kuminga, and Kyrie Irving. And I will also give that out again at the end of the show. But let's do best bets, Tyler. I threw you a curveball, but I know you're sitting on this fastball right here. You've been hitting them out of the park all week. One more for the weekend. What do you got for us?
I like the over in the Portland-Boston game at 212. And then for a prop, I like that Ayo Dosunmu over 4.5 assists at plus money.
All right, you said Boston and Portland?
Yep.
All right, we're going over there. And then Ayo Dosunmu. All right, you decided for that one over Giannis. I like the Giannis one there as a little bonus. What are your thoughts for a best bet here, AP?
Going Nets, Spurs over 234.5 over at DraftKings. Love that game. Going to be a ton of points.
All right, we will go over there. You know what? I would have given out the Wizards, but you guys went against me there. So let's find some synchronicity here for my best bet. And I'll go to the Miami Heat. Okay. And we talked about it. We love the matchup. We can't believe that we can just get plus money on the money line in a game that I think that they should be, -1 or -2. I think this line's completely flipped. Obviously, going through zeros doesn't cost as much as just a 4-point discrepancy. But this would be my favorite bet on the board. So I will go ahead and take the Miami Heat money line. AP, a lot of fun. We got started late, but we got it all done. We got the information out, and pretty happy to do this. You want to let everyone know what's going on for your weekend here at Run for Sports?
Monster weekend of sports. Crazy. NFL, divisional playoffs. I'm working on my write-up right now, and I'm definitely going to be watching your guys' show later. And I know it's funny because we get a friends in town and a little celebration. So man, I'm like, oh, I want to miss it. But at the same time, got to go do that. And then it's just going to be a late night where, dialing in content because we got UFC, we got NBA throughout the weekend. PGA is going on right now, showdown slates. But the focus, NFL, a big contest over at DraftKings. Spread's going to be on tomorrow with the live shows. So make sure you sign up with that. Lots of stuff. I'm really excited. And it's going to be a really good time.
Yeah, and AP, you left out one of my most profitable endeavors this week, and that's using the cores there at the Australian Open. And I'd always done GPPs before. I'm venturing into the cash games, and I am loving it. So
you guys are absolutely killing it. I got to give you. I've seen the screenshots. You, Susie, everyone, Matty Ice. You guys are. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's painful because I haven't been able to play. I just these NBA slates are massive, and there's so much going on with SaberSim, our partnership, in managing the projections and our player pools and cores behind the scenes. But I love seeing that the team is winning and doing a fantastic job. Shout out to you. Shout out to Susie and Matty Ice for that.
And we're having a lot of fun. And actually, AP, it's funny you mentioned SaberSim. Susie and I were originally thinking of doing a little live show yesterday, but we knew that you were doing the SaberSim video, right? And we felt that was so important. We didn't want to even, try to distract people because we were thinking, oh, well, they might watch it later. But the point is, if you are a member of Run Pure Sports and you didn't see it, even though the slate's already locked, there's so much good information in there. So I wouldn't be hesitant to watch it, probably next week after things have died down a little bit, right? But when you get some free time, even though you think, oh, well, that's just for the Thursday night. No, that show's good, and you can use the stuff that they went over. And so we actually didn't go live to talk tennis because we wanted to watch you and see what you guys were doing there. Tyler, do you want to just give them the promo for the NFL show coming up before we log off?
I can give them that. I could also give them this 93-1 parlay we just
bought. Oh, see if we can try this again because he's just over there working. So good thing we had this little chat.
All right, so we all like Miami. I think Clint Capella sits. Bam double Miami wins is going to be the first leg.
Okay.
We think Memphis wins. We all think John Morant has a big game. This number's a bit high, but I think it's worth it because I think he just kills them on the inside. Morant 30+ points and Memphis wins will be the second leg. The last leg against the worst 3-point and shooting defense in the league. Jaylen Brown 4+ made threes. Boston wins. $25 wins you $2,300.
Tyler is going to be having a great weekend. All right, guys. Hope you guys all got that. Remember, Hardwood Live show's on now, but if you're subscribed, you'll get the notification and you'll know to be able to watch the NFL breakdown that Tyler and I are about to do. So much content here at Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. Become a member at runpuresports.com. Use the promo code GETBETS. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends. We're not keeping this a secret. Lively chat again today. They bring more to the show. Let's get more people in here, even more good information. Thank you, everybody, for